crafty friends. Thanks so much for joining me this week on the blog. So this week we're going to make these pretty handmade ornaments. Aren't they beautiful? And I'm going to walk you through it every step of the way. They're super easy. So we're going to also do some transparent ones with some gold on them. So thanks so much for joining me, and let's get started. Hello, my crafty friends. So we're going to make some really pretty ornaments today. And some of the things, these are the supplies that you're going to need for this project. First of all, you're going to need some ornaments. These are plastic. I bought them at Michael's. You can use glass. I did them last year on glass. I have to tell you, I think that the plastic actually turns out a little prettier. So you need some of these. You'll need some white craft paint or not. This is optional. I just bought this big, because I use so much of it, it's just white craft paint from Michael's. A couple of, if you're going to go ahead and paint them on the inside, like I'm going to do, you're going to need something for your paint to drain out of them when you paint the inside. You're also going to need a pouncer. This one's well loved, as you can see. One that you would use for ink blending. This one, I use this just for alcohol ink, and the color, you can use any color that you want. I'm going to use Poppy Field since I'm using red ornaments this year. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is take these little stoppers off, and I have a cup here, and I'm just going to take a little bit of this paint and squirt it, maybe squirt it right into, maybe I'm going to squirt it. Let's get it into the cap. There we go. And squirt it into my, let's see, why won't it go in there? I don't know. Give me a second. I'm going to go off camera and do this. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I got it to come out. This is kind of thick. This, I should probably thin this paint out a little bit. Maybe I need to shake that. So then what I do is I just take a baby wipe, hold it on the top, and then shake it really well to get the paint distributed around. And I'm going to have to add some more, I'm sure. I diluted it once before, and it just didn't turn out that well. I'm going to give this a shake. I think maybe this needs to be shaken. I do have some other, I think, white. Let's see. Here I have some, just some regular craft paint. So I'll try that. With this one, there we go. There we go. So you can see it's a little more liquid in there. And then just get a fresh wipe and just shake it around. I usually pour a lot more than this in there, so may need to do that. One of the fun things to do, by the way, is just to take some of this craft paint and then take colored craft paint as well. And I'm going to add a little more. There we go. Get that into the cap. There we go. And you're going to need a fair amount. That should do it. So now put that back on there and shake it up. There we go. Now we're cooking. So then I just take it and turned it upside down in a cup just to let it dry a little bit. So let's do another one. Get the paint into the... You can see I got a little paint on my hands. Don't be messy like me. A little paint on my hands. And I'm going to put there. Put the top on it. Shake it up. By shaking it, one of the things I did, I've done this a gazillion different ways. And the shaking it is probably the most effective way, because what I found is if I just swirled it around, I ended up with using way more paint. If you don't want to use paint, another option is gesso. It's a little more expensive, but that worked really well. There, see how that? And then just let that dry. You let that. So the ideal thing to do is to let that dry overnight. I'm going to go ahead and pretend that it is dry, and we're going to move on to the next step. So first thing I'm going to do is grab a rubber glove. Uh-oh, I'm out of rubber gloves. The last one. See if I can do this without tearing the glove. There we go. This is messy, but it's so worth it. It's really fun. So I've got those there. I'm going to take my little pouncer and I'm going to saturate it pretty well the first time, just to get it, you know, a good amount of. Another option you can do is if you want to use a couple drops of just regular alcohol or even blender solution, you can do that. And this is a messy project. I would suggest, I should probably do this on a different surface, but I think I'll be okay. So I'm just going to grab it. See, I already messed up. I'm just going to grab it. Here, I'll use this one. Like this. And this is going to dry really fast. And the first thing I like to do is do the top. And if you blow on it, you get a really nice effect. Oop. Don't, like I said, do as I say, not as I do. And like I said, it is a messy project. But it does clean up with alcohol, so not to worry. None of this is permanent. So I usually do like the top layer first, the top portion of it first, okay? So I've got most of that done. And look how pretty that is. And just blow on it. And see how shiny it is? It's going to stay shiny like that. And then just keep pouncing all the way around. And this is alcohol, so it does dry really quickly. Spin it around. See how I got that little big globby drop there? Just come back in over it. It kind of reactivates the alcohol. And you end up with this beautiful marbled look. And they look stunning on your tree because they are so shiny. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to grab a wire. And I have a supply here of floral foam with little skewers on it, and I'm just going to set that aside to dry. You can come back in if you'd like and add another coat. It's not really necessary. Keep lots of baby wipes on hand because it is, like I said, it's really messy. And this will clean up with alcohol. I'll just grab a little alcohol and just, let's see, that'll come right up. Now, one of the things I would suggest as well is while you're letting your ornaments dry, angle them so that any paint that drips out is going to drip onto the foam board, not onto your table, because you just don't want paint everywhere. So I'm going to do this one. First thing I'm going to do is grab one of my dirty wipes here and just get the residue out. I'm just going to grab this by its corner, add a little more alcohol ink, and like I said, you can do them any color you want. I'm doing this year, as you know, my tree is black and white buffalo check with red ornaments. So I'm just doing red ornaments, but this is beautiful in lots of different colors. So, but this is just one of the, I'm doing other ornaments as gifts, and I'll show you one of those ways to decorate an ornament too. But there you have it. It's gorgeous. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm just going to grab a couple more supplies and kind of clean off my fingers, and I will be back, and I'm going to show you another quickie technique with alcohol ink on how to do ornaments. So I'll be right back. Okay, so welcome back. So I'm going to show you another really fun technique, and this involves a can of air, that stuff you use to clean off your keyboards with. But I'm going to move those ornaments out of the way that we already did, and I'm going to show you what I did with these. Again, grab a clean wipe. I seem to have paint on my hands. I don't want that. Okay. So we're just going to take this ornament. It's just a plastic ornament with the top off. And I'm going to drop a little bit of red alcohol ink in there. And then I'm going to just... So, and it's dry like instantly. Another really cool, isn't that really cool? And you could just, because it's dry already, you can put your top back on and go hang it right on your tree. Another really pretty thing to do with this ornament is is to add a little bit of gold leaf to the outside of it. That's really pretty. Or you could use some gold alcohol ink to add something to it as well. In fact, I could do that. So let me grab a little gold alcohol ink and I'll be right back. Okay, so welcome back. So I pulled out this alcohol ink. These are called mixatives, and it's gold. And you've got to really shake these really well. There's a little ball in there, and even to get that ball to loosen up, you've got to shake it really hard. I can see I got a little paint on there. I don't want that. Okay, set that aside. We'll come to that one. Okay, so we're going to take, this is a clean dauber. I'm going to take this mixative. Whoop. Take this mixative. And just going to put a little bit on there. And I'm just going to pounce around intermittently, randomly, because I don't want it solid gold. I just want it look like it's got little gold accents on it. Flip it around. And it looks like it's got gold leaf on it. And you can add as much or as little as you want. How cool is that? So I'm going to set this on an egg carton that I have over here. Let it dry. And it's, quite frankly, it's almost dry already. So let's do another one. So let's take a little bit of our red, squirt some in there, swirl it around. And if you find that the ink kind of reactivates or settles a little, you may have put a little too much in, but you can come back in and till it's all gone. Just don't spray too much of that canned air. It gets really cold. It's like frozen. Okay, so I'm going to hold this with my finger this time. And you can see that, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's still a little ink in there that's loose. And I'm just going to move it around a little more. If you use glass ornaments, I think that they're a little more prone to being shattered by this canned air that I don't think you get as much of with the plastic ones. So just be mindful of that. You can see, because I've got ink on my hands, I'm just going to set that down for a moment. And I'm going to shake up my mixative again. And I can see my ink in the bottom of my ornament pooling a little, and I really don't want it to pool. I want it to just spread. So, and it dries super fast once you get it like that. Okay, so I've shaken that up. Put a couple drops. And I'm just going to randomly and I mean, you can swipe it, you can you know, you can, because this is alcohol, it dries super fast. In fact, I think I need just a couple more drops. Just to get it all evenly around. And like you would do with gold leaf, it's going to look very random. And if you don't like the way it turns out, you can just come back in with some alcohol and wipe it all off. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is, just for fun, I'm going to grab my red one, add a little ink to it. Oh yeah, that is pretty. And what it does is it kind of mutes that gold a little bit. Can you see that? That's super pretty. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. And if you want, you can come back in with your gold, add in a little more. Just have fun with it. Is that pretty? And this is pretty much almost dry, so I'm just going to set it aside. Just put it in an egg carton. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this little quickie tutorial. I think it's super fun. And like I said, you can make your ornaments any color you desire. The world is your oyster, as I always say. So have fun. And as always, if you enjoy my video, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to tag me in social media. Thanks so much for joining me today. And as always, from my home to yours, happy holidays. So wasn't that fun? I know that you can do these. It's super easy. So thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate you being here. As always, if you enjoy my videos, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And from my home to your home, happy holidays.